Okay, welcome to this new video for helituning.com. What we're going to be doing today is fitting a Carbsmart sensor to the OS55 HZ. And in order to do that, there is a number of things that you need. The two most obvious ones currently here, which is the Carbsmart sensor itself, which is this long thing here, and the OS55 HZ. But we do need more than this. One other thing we need is something to secure the sensor to the engine with, and for that I'm using this silicon. It's a high temperature silicon which is available from CSM, as you can see here, and this is their high temperature silicon RTV. And it's effectively just a silicon that can withstand the very, very high temperatures that are likely to occur on the head of an engine. Standard silicon won't work and will melt, so you do need to have this proper stuff or equivalent. Something else that we need, I've got here, and this, as it says here, is brake and clutch cleaner. So this is an automotive product, but what I want this stuff for is actually down here on the bottom, which is it's a degreaser, and what I'm going to use this for is just to clean the head of the engine to get rid of any grease or oil, which is going to stop my silicon from sticking and therefore stop the sensor from sticking to the head of the motor. So we use this stuff just to clean off the grease and oil from the head of the motor so that the silicon has something to grip to. And then the last thing that we need that goes with this is kitchen roll or tissue or something of that nature, because we're going to basically spray this stuff into the head around the fins where we're going to secure our sensor, and then we need to wipe it out with something, and that's what we need this kitchen towel or tissue paper for. Something else that we also need to make sure that we do is the OS55 comes supplied without the glow plug fitted. Now we're going to be spraying degreaser spray around this area, and therefore we want to make sure that none gets down inside the engine. So we need to make sure that we fit our glow plug to the engine before we start. Okay, so I'm going to fit the glow plug, and then we'll come back and have a look at exactly where we're going to put this sensor. Okay, so there we have our glow plug fitted. And I've just tightened that up a little bit so that nothing can get in around it. And the next thing is, where exactly are we going to put our sensor on the engine? Well, typically on the popular models, T-Rex 600N, Outrage Velocity, the engine sits within the model with the back plate here down towards the ground, and then the head here faces towards the front of the model. So effectively it sits like that in the model, with the shaft here pointing straight upwards, and therefore we want our sensor to be accessible so that we can change it without having to drop the whole engine out of the machine. So the way we do that is that we fit our sensor to the rear back here. So we're going to go in at the back here. So here's our back plate, and we're going to go in here between the fins to fit our sensor. Now, when you look in the back of the OS55 here, you'll see that there are effectively 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fins, and then there's the bottom kind of, it's not really a fin, but it's shaped like a fin. But basically we've got 5, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4 gaps. And what you'll find is that on the third gap down, you can see the screw heads that are holding the head here onto the main body of the engine. And it's in there where you can see those screw heads that we want our sensor to go. So I have the sensor here, and effectively it's going to go in that one there, like that. Okay, now the reason we put it into this particular one here and not the others is that if we go in the slot below, you find that it's really not a very deep slot at all, and there is virtually nothing to hold this sensor in. If you go above this third hole down, then you're actually not sensing the top of the piston travel. You're actually up on the top of the engine, just in space, and in fact you can see the sensor there. If I can see that, it's actually, not against the top of the engine at all. And bearing in mind on the sensor that the part that does the sensing is actually right on the end here. So it's this tip that is doing the sensing. So if we go in the top one or even the one underneath it, we're completely missing, and we're not actually connecting with anything. So we have to go to the third one down. That gives us some depth for our sensor to hold it in place, and actually does place the sensor against the top of the piston stroke where we want to measure the temperature of the engine. And then if you go one below that, you've basically got no depth at all, so the sensor isn't going to stay in there. So really there's only one place you can put it, and that's in the slot where you can see the screw heads. Okay, so next job is to clean our engine up and make sure that there's no oil in this area where we're going to squirt the silicone in order to fit our sensor. And what we do here is we just take our degreasing agent and we spray that between the fins in here, and then we use our tissue just to mop it out and clean it up and make sure that it's all clean and dry. Now this stuff tends to evaporate anyway, so we're just going to spray it in there, mop it out, spray it in there, mop it out, and just make sure that it's all nice and oil free. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll come back. Okay, so my engine is now nicely cleaned up, and I've been over the whole engine pretty much, cleaning off any excess fluid from the degreasing agent, just to make sure that it can't get into any of the critical parts of the engine. But specifically, I've made kind of sharp pieces like that I can stick in between the fins here to clean it out exactly where the sensor is going to go and make sure that there's nothing in there at all. So the next thing we're going to be working with is our silicon RTV, which I have here, and basically this is a syringe, a big syringe, and it's currently sealed at this end, so we need to cut that end off and then fit our nozzle onto the end here, like that. And then we need to just cut, because it's currently sealed, we need to cut just a little tiny bit off the end there, so we've still got a nice kind of sharp end to this, because we've got to get that in between the fins, and you can see it doesn't really fit already. Let me show you that. It doesn't really fit already, so we're going to have to squirt this down in there. So the smaller the end we've got on this, the better, otherwise it's just going to all kludge around the fins here, and we're not going to get the silicone down in there where we need it to hold the sensor in place. So I'm going to prepare my silicone, and then we'll come back and squirt some stuff in here and get ready to fit our sensor down in there. Okay, so that's my syringe all prepped. I've cut the end off here, which you may or may not be able to see on camera, but there's a very small hole in the end there. And we're now going to squirt our silicone down in here, so it goes between the screw heads that you can see in there and right up against the inner engine casing. And we're going to basically fill this all the way out until the silicone is right to the edge of the fins. And then once that's there, I'll come back and show you that, and we'll push the sensor down through the silicone into place. So I'm just going to do this piece off camera because I can't see to do it on camera, unfortunately, otherwise I'd show you. So I'm going to squirt that silicone in there and then come back. Okay, so we now have our silicone in there, and I've had to use this very narrow Allen key to actually push the silicone down in there, because it just wouldn't go all the way down and was sticking around the top. So I've been squirting a bit in, pushing it in with the Allen key, and then squirting a bit more in until I've filled that whole area up. So once you've done that and you've filled the entire area, you're in a position to fit your Carbsmart sensor, and basically all you do is position it It can go either way up, it doesn't really matter, but position it so that it's going to go in tip first and then push it all the way down until it seats right up against the top of the cylinder head. So that's got to be all the way in and as far as it will go until it hits the top of the cylinder head. And then once you've hit that point, you just need to put this somewhere where it can basically stay like that for the silicone to go off. So you can see that sticking out the back there. So you want to put that so the silicone can go off and hold that temperature sensor exactly there, like that. And that's it, job done. That's the Carbsmart sensor fitted to the OS55 HZ. So I hope it's been useful, and I'll see you next time.